It was late. The city lights glowed softly against the midnight sky, but for Dylan, Wang and Shen Yue, the night felt darker than ever. This wasn't the glamorous life fans often imagined. It wasn't red carpets or flashing cameras. It wasn't laughter on set or playful banter in interviews. This was real, raw, human, and it was heartbreaking, because tonight, Dylan and Shen Yue were seen crying together outside the hospital. The evening had started with joy. The couple had been spending time at home with their little family. Shen Yue had been reading stories to their child, her gentle voice filling the air. Dylan had been sitting nearby, smiling softly, soaking in the moment. But suddenly everything changed. Their child fell ill. What seemed like nothing more than a small fever earlier in the day had quickly turned dangerous. Their little one's body grew weak, their breathing shallow, their energy fading before their eyes. Panic set in. Shen Yue's hands shook as she gathered their child in her arms. Dylan grabbed the car keys, his chest tightening with every second that passed. Together, they rushed to the hospital, their hearts pounding louder than the city traffic around them. By the time they arrived, nurses and doctors rushed the child into the emergency ward. Dylan and Shen Yue were left behind, standing frozen, staring at the closed doors as their world seemed to collapse around them. That's when the tears began. Not the quiet tears of a private moment, but uncontrollable sobs, raw and unfiltered, pouring out in the middle of a hospital corridor where strangers passed by. Dylan tried to be strong. He wrapped his arms around Shen Yue, holding her tightly, whispering, "It's going to be okay. Our baby is strong. Please believe that." But even he couldn't hold back the tears. His voice cracked, his shoulders trembled, and in that moment, Dylan wasn't the confident star fans admired. He was just a father, terrified of losing the most precious thing in his life. Hours passed. Every tick of the clock felt like torture. Shen Yue couldn't sit still. She paced, prayed, whispered promises to the universe. Dylan followed her every step, trying to steady her while silently fighting his own fear. Finally, the weight became too much. They stepped outside, out into the cold night air. And that's where witnesses saw them, huddled together near the hospital entrance. No cameras, no scripts, no pretenses, just two people in love, breaking down under the weight of parenthood and fear. Shen Yue's face was buried in Dylan's chest, her sobs muffled against him. Dylan's arms circled her protectively, his own tears streaming down his cheeks as he pressed his chin against her hair. One witness later said, "It was the most vulnerable thing I've ever seen." They weren't celebrities in that moment. They were just parents, hurting. The photos spread quickly. Someone, unable to resist, captured the moment from afar. And before long, social media was flooded. Images of Dylan and Shen Yue outside the hospital, their eyes red, their faces wet with tears, their bodies clinging together as if they were holding on for dear life. Fans were stunned. Hashtags trended immediately. "Stay strong, Dylan and Shen Yue. Prayers for their family. Our hearts are with them." Messages poured in from around the world. "No parent should ever have to go through this. My heart is breaking for them. This shows they are human just like us. My love and prayers go out to them." For once, there was no gossip, no criticism, just love, pure and overflowing. Back inside, Dylan and Shen Yue returned to the waiting area. At last, the doctor emerged, his face calm, his tone steady. "Your child is stable now. It was a sudden infection, but we've managed to control it. They'll need to stay here for observation, but they're safe." The relief was indescribable. Shen Yue collapsed into Dylan's arms again, but this time her sobs were mixed with laughter, tears of joy, of gratitude, of overwhelming release. Dylan held her tighter than ever, his own tears refusing to stop. They walked into the hospital room together, hand in hand, and saw their child lying peacefully in bed. Small, fragile, but breathing steadily, color slowly returning to their cheeks. Shen Yue rushed to the bedside, kissing her child's tiny hand over and over. Dylan bent down, brushing back their hair, whispering, "Papa's here. Mama's here. You're safe now." The night had been cruel, but it had also revealed something beautiful. The world had seen Dylan and Shen Yue not as actors, not as idols, but as humans, as partners, as parents who would trade everything, fame, fortune, careers, for the life of their child. Their tears outside the hospital weren't a sign of weakness. They were a testament to love. A love that was bigger than any role they had ever played. Bigger than any drama they had starred in. Bigger than the industry that had brought them together in the first place. In the days that followed, Dylan remained by Shen Yue's side, refusing to leave the hospital even for a moment. He sat by their child's bedside, holding tiny fingers in his larger hand, watching every rise and fall of their chest. Shen Yue stayed close too, singing softly, whispering prayers, gently stroking their child's hair whenever they stirred. The photos of them outside the hospital continued to circulate, but instead of sparking rumors, they sparked compassion. Fans commented, "They've shown us what real love and strength look like. This moment is more powerful than any drama. My respect for them has grown beyond words." The entire world seemed to pause, not for a film release, not for a red carpet event, but for a family's battle and their victory. When their child was finally discharged, Dylan carried them carefully in his arms, wrapped in a blanket. Shen Yue walked beside him, her hand resting gently on their child's back. The cameras were there again, but this time Dylan didn't care. Shen Yue didn't care. Their focus was only on their child. And though their eyes were tired, though their faces still showed traces of the tears they had shed, there was also something new, something stronger. Hope, gratitude, and above all, an unshakable bond. That heartbreaking night will forever remain etched in memory. Not because of the pain, not because of the tears, but because of what it revealed. It showed the world that Dylan Wang and Shen Yue are more than stars. They are a family. They are parents. They are two people who love so deeply that even in the darkest night, they found strength in each other's arms. And to their fans, that love story, the one written not in scripts, not in dramas, but in real life, means more than anything else. So as we look back on that night, one truth stands above all. Tears may have fallen, hearts may have broken, but in the end, love won. And Dylan Wang and Shen Yue's story, filled with pain, hope, and resilience, will forever inspire those who believe in love that conquers even the darkest hours.